We have added a second show in Nashville, baby, on May 3rd. It's an early show, 4 p.m. at the Bridgestone Arena, and I can't even believe that. And thank you guys so much for all the love and support, and I'm honored to be performing here in Nashville. We also have tickets remaining for East Lansing, Michigan, Victoria, BC in the Canada, College Station, Texas, Gig'em, Belton, Texas, Oxford, Mississippi, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Winnipeg in the Canada, and Calgary in the Canada. Get all your tickets at theovon.com/TOUR. Today's guest is a financial advisor for Generations Z and Millennials. He's a YouTuber, he's a businessman, and he's based in Austin, Texas, which is where we're taping today. You may have seen his popular show, Financial Audit, where he takes people to task over their spending habits. I had a great time learning about him and his world. Today's guest is Caleb Hammer. Caleb Hammer, man, thanks for catching up, dude.
Yeah, what's up, buddy? Nice to meet you.
Not much, yeah. Nice to meet you too, man. Hammer. Caleb Hammer. That's a good name.
Yeah, it's powerful.
It is. Is that Russian, Hammer? Hammer?
I think I'm British and native.
Oh, yeah?
So a little conquering, of the United States a little. And,
oh, wow. Yeah, so no matter what side of the bed you wake up on, you're going to draw a weapon, probably.
That's right, yeah.
That's wild. Native American?
Yeah, like 25%.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. That's a good amount.
Yeah. Not too heavy, but
yeah. But
chilling. Enough to feel a little tan.
Oh, yeah.
Little minority. Yeah.
Oh, enough too to fucking know how to make a good fry bread too, I bet.
Yeah.
I noticed that. So you're kind of this financial guy, or financial liaison even, to like Gen Z or millennials. I mean, it could be anyone, but I feel like that's kind of like, it seems to me like that's kind of like the world that you work with.
Yeah, that's who got attached to it. We age range in that like 18 to 35. That's our big group. That's where our metrics are right now.
And you're helping people with their finances. Like, what kind of qualified you to become sort of this person who's offering suggestions to others?
Yeah. I mean, since the stuff I talk about is so basic, I was a dumbass enough, like back in the day, to overcome all that debt, get control of my spending, learning how to budget, get kind of obsessed with the personal finance space, build a pretty successful net worth before I started YouTube, and just sitting down and talking to the people in the worst of the worst. Yeah. Since I was there, felt like those are the people I could talk to. Not talking to the Theo Vons, not helping you with your investments, but we're talking about the lady who has tens of thousands of dollars of credit card debt, some car she can't afford, and getting repoed left and right.
Right, yeah. I mean, I feel like you kind of have this like Jerry Springer meets finances kind of energy, which is, it's awesome.
We call it Caleb Springer. That's what we call
really?
it. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great, man. Yeah, it's super fascinating. But like, so what was your financial problem? Just so I know, like, where did you start where you're like, oh, okay, I'm in a bad spot?
College I was so dumb in college, man. Just starting to go into it. I was going into a major that wasn't going to make any money. I wanted to go into music. And of course, if you're going to go into music, you have to have like a $50,000 computer or whatever. It's some nice, beautiful iMac. So max out a credit card with that. Got to have an electric piano. You got to be cool. You got to be like the other music majors. Max out a credit card with that. Why cook when you're tired from school? Go to McDonald's every day. And that's before I was even a fat fuck. Like, I was just able to consume those and still be skinny, but max out a credit card with that. Got to get around. So I maxed out. I got like a $11,000 car loan, but I couldn't afford the down payment. Of course, I didn't know anything about money. So I borrowed like $5,000 from the grandparents just to get a down payment on a car. It's the same stuff we're seeing on the show.
So you were just in a bad spot.
Bad spot. Private student loans too, man. It was rough.
And had you been getting advice from anybody, or you were just?
No, this was generational. My parents, even though they are better now, I'll give them credit there. We grew up definitely lower middle class foreclosure notices, that kind of stuff. And at that point, when the people who would teach you about that kind of stuff, because our school system really doesn't, at least in Michigan, and I don't think Texas either, at that point, you rely on them to teach you, but they didn't know anything. So I was just continuing that cycle. It's like every time you see people coming from a lower middle class background or a poverty background, it's just that endless cycle because you can't learn from anywhere. And you have to get that drive somehow.
Right. Oh, that's a great point. Yeah, I was always kind of amazed that they didn't teach us in school. Like if you didn't have a strategy, like they would have people come for like parents would come, or people with like people in our community that had jobs would come and talk to us, but they never had like people that had really fucked up. You know, they never had like a crack addict come and talk to the class for 20 minutes and be like, this is how this happened, right? Or they never had anybody that was selling leg or selling cooter or whatever on the street tell, you know, like, hey, this is how things fell apart. Like they never had that other side of somebody who was like in a second bankruptcy or somebody who'd been abused in a marriage. You know, it's like you never really got, you always just got the like, I'm a fireman, you know, and it'd be like, and the kids would be like, awesome, you know, and the guy would let you play with his axe or whatever. It's like, but you never got like the other side of it. It's kind of crazy that they don't have that just in like kind of elementary education, you know?
Dude, it's crazy. I think it's like a 1 week subject in the class where they also spend like 2 weeks showing you birthing videos.
Yeah.
You know, this is something that passes over real quick. So.
Okay, so you were bad off.
Real bad.
And how did you get unbad off?
I just started becoming obsessed with, well, I was always interested in the world of real estate. So like HGTV, I ate that shit up. I don't know why. This is that weird kid who loved HGTV.
Yeah.
So, you know, all the different home shows, I was interested in real estate. And that's kind of just a decent connection and segue over to personal finances. So eventually, once I started realizing, can't afford rent, I started just Googling some things and I found some other creators, some other podcasts, like Bigger Pockets podcast is really good. I think I started
Bigger Pockets, it's called?
Yeah, it's really good. Those in real estate. Do you know Graham Stephan, the finance YouTuber?
Let's see a picture of him.
Yeah, little short dude.
Graham Stephan. Nope, I don't know him.
He's one of the OG finance YouTubers, and I think I started watching him when he was up and coming. And I was like, wow, I can't believe how absolutely stupid I am with finances. I didn't even know there was this other world. And then to accomplish the things I dream of accomplishing, it's going to take actually marking the goals I want to get to and the different steps that are required to get there. And that's where I started to actually focus on building the income, not just the hobby stuff. You know, I was doing music composition and, you know, I was making like $30,000 a year off of that in college and dropped out of college. But from there, I just knew I had to go get stronger income, actually build myself a budget. And that's when I started, you know, looking to move in different areas. And I got a connection down in Austin. And that's when, like, I actually started putting the focus in pointing my money in the right direction, building a budget for the first time. And it's been good since then.
Yeah. Okay, so you started to put your money back together. Like you started, I mean, did you pay off some of those things? Did you get rid of the car? You said you dropped out of school. So
yeah.
I'm assuming that you just realized it wasn't for you, or?
Okay, it's going to sound like the most arrogant, cunty thing ever. But like, I was actually making more on my music compositions than my own professors did on their own compositions. So I was like, why am I spending more money to go in school?
Okay,
so that's when I dropped out.
Okay, you already felt like you kind of been able to learn what they were going to teach you over a course of a long time.
Kind of. I mean, I like the lessons and stuff, but then I still had to go to all these other classes that don't matter, and I had to spend money on that.
Right.
Or at least things that were going for the degree. But at that point, I still knew nothing about personal finances. Mm-hmm. Once I moved to Austin, I wanted to get a job that focused on me being my own business, essentially. That's what I was doing with music composition. And one of the best jobs that just like you and I could go get today if we wanted to, where your own business is sales.
Okay.
You know, you are your business. You're out there building the client base. And that's what I ended up doing. And with that, I reached the top of the sales team immediately.
Selling.
Selling. It was trading education, you know, like stock trading and some memberships and stuff like that.
Okay, so no, I'm not familiar with what you're talking about.
Like stock market.
Okay, so you became an investor?
No, I was selling classes that taught people how to become day traders and stuff.
Okay, so day trading courses.
Really bad products, I'll be honest. But
really,
you know, I just had to, you know, I was taking the job that would hire. Okay,
so the actual product wasn't a good product, or just you thought it was?
It was fine. Just people shouldn't be day traders. That's the thing.
Oh, I see.
It's like 90% lose money. It's not that the people that were teaching it were bad or the education itself was bad. It's just like that's probably too risky for your average person to get into.
So it's just a risky thing to get into.
Risky to get into, but luckily the people I was selling to, they were with people with too much money, too much time.
Oh, they were?
Yeah, it wasn't like...
You weren't selling it to children or whatever?
No.
Okay.
No. Especially since, I mean, I think you have to be 18 to open a brokerage, or at least to open those kind of accounts, if I'm not mistaken. But actually being able to build that, like, personal business, personal brands, and getting to the top of the sales team, eventually getting to the place, you know, bringing in 6 figures.
Wow.
Grinding for a couple years, I focused on paying off my grandparents first because it was family debt. It's a little emotional. That's probably not what I would necessarily suggest today to people that I'm talking to, but that's what felt right in that moment. And then the credit cards.
Is what paying off your grandparents, you mean?
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, because you have to see them. You still have to answer their calls, and you have to hear the timbre in your grandmother's voice, you know, knowing that they're concerned about their future because they're missing a little bit of their nest egg.
Exactly. And they were nice enough to give me that money in a hard time. I got to be nice enough to prioritize paying it back.
Right.
And then the 30% credit cards I had from there, about 10,000 hours total in credit card debt. And then Sally Mae, you know that bitch?
Oh, yeah, the loan specialist?
Oh, yeah. No, she's not great. So I had some like 12% interest, private student loan debt, maybe 15%. It just kept ballooning, so I focused on paying that off after that.
But those are private ones, right? So there's ones you get from the state that are lower percentage? Okay.
Yep, I had federal-backed student loans. I still do because I'm not going to pay them off because they're only 4%. No, actually, mine are like 3%, so I'd rather invest instead.
Right.
So I'm just doing my minimum monthlies there. But so because Sally and her 15% were just so crappy, I focused on paying those off next. And then eventually my car debt as well, because that was also like 11% for a Nissan Altima, 2013. I don't know if you're a Nissan Altima girly, but their transmissions, they all die immediately.
Yeah.
So it was like 60,000 miles and the transmission was dying.
Yeah.
And I already owed debt on it.
Altima is definitely a lot of Latinos would drive them, I know. And then my ex-girlfriend drove one.
Oh.
Okay, so you started to get out of debt. You got some money going. You found out that, okay, you realized maybe the direction you were going in school wasn't for you. It sounded like you started to make some kind of like severe choices, right?
Yeah, big life choices. Moving across the country, packing up the sedan, you know, going from Michigan to Texas. I guess it's not across the country, but it was a big move for me. And focus on paying off that debt. And that's once I got my emergency fund, which is what we prioritize after paying off high interest debt. That's where I was like, I can finally start accomplishing the dreams I wanted to. And I was putting 10% down on a house here in Austin.
Oh, wow.
And that was my big goal.
And were you still doing sales at that point?
Yes. I was still doing sales, and I started moving in the world of like product management and the tech world. But
like, what does that mean?
So it was kind of like fake product manager, I'll be honest, for all those that know product management out there. But I was like overseeing memberships at that company that I was talking about and trying to improve their products. And I was just kind of overseeing that, working with different teams. But I was transitioning to that world because, again, I like running some things. That's why I like building out the company that we have now and having management over products and just making a better experience for the clients.
Okay. And is the product you sell now to people, is that a more helpful product, you think, than the first one, the other?
Oh, absolutely.
The day trading stuff?
Yeah, because what we're doing now, like our simpler budget app, like that is an app that people can use and actually follow a budget, hit the goals that they're trying to do. It's things that actually help people instead of like, hey, there's a 10% chance you might be successful in this field. Good luck.
Right.
That was kind of the products back then. But yeah, so people can actually, you know, finally take control over their destiny.
Okay. What is, you talk a lot, okay, so I feel like I have a decent understanding now of how you kind of got to where you are, right? Like a lot of it sounds like you're like, okay, college isn't for me, I need to change that. These are the high interest things that I need to get a job or find a field. You found sales, it's working well for me. And then I need to find out the higher interest things, I need to get out of those first. The lower interest things I can keep, because if I can invest at a slightly higher interest rate, then I'm going to be hypothetically or hopefully paying those off over time, assuming I can make more than the 3 or 4%.
Exactly.
Okay, so now you have a YouTube channel where you kind of talk, it seems like, to a lot of like Gen Z. Is that kind of safe to say? Gen Z millennials?
Yeah, Gen Z millennial.
Okay. Yeah. What is the number one thing that they are going into debt over now?
In America, cars, man. Cars. Everything's drivable infrastructure here, so you have no choice but to get a car. You need a car to get a job to pay for the car.
Right, they kind of locked us into that, huh?
Yeah.
What's that? Is there a theory that they did that on purpose, that a lot of that's done on purpose, you think? that we had, that they created like this car economy? Can you look up, just see what you find on that?
Well, I know in the 1950s, right? That's where they start passing like the highway infrastructure bill, and that it's a lot of it for intercontinental connection, especially for military safety, being able to move things back and forth across cities. But with that, they came into the cities like Dallas and Houston and LA, and they bulldozed massive communities and just built highways throughout. Then you had white flight from the cities to the suburbs, and then in order to get to the city where the jobs are, got to drive on the highway, and it's a cycle from there.
Yeah, I think you pretty much just answered it. That's what it seems like a lot of that is. It was like, yeah, people wanted to also live in the suburbs. They didn't want to be in the place maybe right, around a bunch of building stuff. You want to have a yard. You want to have a little bit more space.
And cities went to shit after that too. It really did. Whether it's funding or just the job opportunities, like they went to shit. Like New York in the 80s was a shithole, right? So that's, yeah.
Yeah, and then I think you have a lot of people, like if people want to have a yard and want to have an environment they take care of, then they kind of, if they take that energy out of the city, then that's not in the city anymore.
People want to live in the city now, though. People are giving up their car, and in my age range, in the audience's age range, they want to live in those more walkable communities. I'm moving to a walkable community. I love to not have to drive. It's a nightmare.
Nice. Yeah, kind of like my parents, it was the thing where they wanted to drive into work and drive home. That was part of like the commute, it was almost part of their lifestyle.
Yeah.
I think that was like a big part of the lifestyle then. Let me see. Commuting as we know it today, with people regularly traveling significant distance between home and work, became prominent during the mid-19th century, primarily due to the Industrial Revolution, which led to large population shifts towards urban areas and the development of suburban communities accessible by newly established rail systems, allowing people to live further from their workplace and commute into work regularly. The term commute itself originates from this era of early rail travel, where people paid a commuted fare for regular travel to the city. Oh, wow. So I guess if you were like a person that came every day for their job into like, rural New York into New York City, then you paid a commuted fare.
Yeah. And I'm honestly not against like the driving if you want to, or living with more space. I'm not against that at all. Like I actually like that. The community I'm moving to is kind of like that. It's a hybrid. But what I don't like, dude, I don't know how much you know about zoning in the U.S., but it's crazy. We're supposed to be like this capitalist bastion of freedom, but we don't let anyone build what they want on their property. So you live in a neighborhood, and in order to get a coffee, you have to drive 10 minutes because no one can build a coffee shop in the neighborhood.
Right.
Because we tell people what they have to build instead of letting the people determine the market and the market determining what gets built in places. That's what I want to see, a more freedom-esque living situation where people can build their communities.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But then I guess what if you have a place you finally call home, you love it, and then somebody next door builds like a neon lights shop or something.
Yeah.
And they're just huge, and they're put billboards up in their yard. Like that kind of thing I feel like would lead to war.
Yeah, that's more like HOA, So like I'm okay with like small communities coming together and deciding what's good for their community, but a whole state or a city saying, no, you're 40 minutes from City Hall, you can't build a bakery there.
Right.
Sorry, a highway has to go there.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I guess sometimes you don't know what a city's overall strategies are, too. It's like sometimes just as a regular citizen, even though you may think that we do, maybe we wouldn't know sometimes what their overall strategies are.
There was this crazy concept where Austin, we built housing. We just allowed developers and capitalism to take place. So we built housing. Guess what's been the largest rent decrease in the nation? Austin. Who would have thought?
The largest rent decrease? Why? Because there's extra housing.
Yeah, we built so much housing.
Yeah.
Because we just let capitalism happen.
But so you're saying that's the bad side of it?
Well, it sucks for people, I guess, property values or landlords, but it's
also
good
a blessing for people that can live.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, one of the worst things that happens in a lot of places is the artists and stuff are the first to have to leave an area because they're the ones who can't afford to live there anymore. I think that happens in a lot of cities where, rent prices start to go up, and then the guy who's like just doing his best to make ends meet, who plays a saxophone or, who runs an art studio, they can't afford to keep their, they're kind of the first to go a lot of times.
Yeah. Gentrification's weird because like, honestly, you kind of go in there, you do get better restaurants, you get better amenities, things do become nicer and safer, but then there is like that dude who gets pushed out. So there's positive. Gentrification's a bad word, kind of a swear word, you know?
Because what is gentrification? You mean it means white people moving in and moving people out?
I think it's more just money and development, but people associate it with that. And
so gentrification is the process whereby characters of a poor urban area is changed by wealthier people moving in, improving housing, and attracting new businesses, typically displacing current inhabitants of the process. Right. So you lose a lot of culture.
Yeah,
because you
develop new culture too, but you lose like the old culture, right? Yeah. That's where I want more access to like home ownership, because if someone owns a home in that area and gentrification happens, they can make a lot of money. So I want the people who are already there to have access to be able to get into the home and buy it. It's the renters that get pushed out, like the saxophone guy. He'd be the one that gets pushed out, and that sucks.
Yeah, and you lose a lot of authenticity there too.
Absolutely.
You lose people who know the lore of the neighborhood, and then everything just starts to be a Panera Bread too, which really starts to suck. That's one thing that starts to happen in a lot of places is you just run a lot of the same, and a lot of cities start to look the same.
Yes.
And then you don't have there's no reason to even go to another city. You're like, why do I want to go there if it's just going to be another restaurant that's just next door to me? It's the same.
I think they're called like 5x1s, like all the buildings that you see everywhere where they're like 5-story apartment complexes with the same chains on every floor. It's the cheapest to build. That's usually what the city messes it up by only zoning for that, because everything has to be one size fits all.
Yeah, Nashville's ruined. They have a great area there called 12 South, and it has all these like great little shops and stores. And then now it has like a rag and bone. It's just like it had like quaint vibes. You could walk down. It just felt like you were in like a neat pocket. And then now it just feels like you can barely tell the difference between there and if you're walking down like South Congress in a way.
Yeah. So you're still in Nashville. You ever going to move to Austin?
I might. I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking about if I could afford to get a home here and keep a home here,
Oh, you could.
Then I would be able to go back and forth,
Oh, if I financially audited your statements, I know you could get a home here.
This show is sponsored by Liquid IV. If I sound pretty juicy, that's because I'm liquidated right now. I've had a couple packets today, probably 3-4 packets. Woke up in the middle of the night, had me a packet Liquid IV. I like using it. I use it often. I don't really care about the flavors, to be honest with you. There's a green grape that I've been using and some type of strawberry deal I've been using. I'll get me a water, pour out a little bit of the water, 1.5 sips. And then I empty in that packet of Liquid IV, get it down in there, put the lid on, shake it up, baby. Liquid IV, it's more than just a drink. It's a science, you make your formula. So go ahead and break the mold and own your ritual. Just 1 stick plus 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone. That's true. Embrace your ritual with extraordinary hydration from Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code Theo at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code Theo at liquidiv.com. If you ever buy something from our store, we use Shopify. It's 2025 and a new year means new opportunities. For a lot of you out there, I know you've been thinking about maybe starting your own business, but you have so many questions. How do I get it started? How do I come up with a brand? And I had the same questions that you did when I started. Here's what I learned. The best time to start your new business is right now. Shopify makes it simple to create your brand, open your business, and get your first sale. You can get your store up and running easily with thousands of customizable templates. No coding or design skills required. All you need to do is drag and drop. Established in 2025 has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? It could be a business you pass on to your own family member one day. Who knows? Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/THEO. You want to start a small business? Get started. That's right. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/THEO, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Theo to start selling with Shopify today. Shopify.com/Theo. So just to kind of circle back into where we were. So one of the major things you're saying that Gen Z faces is...
Well, car debt for sure. That's what every American faces.
It's car debt.
It's, yeah. Again, you have the car so you can get to work to get the paycheck to pay for the car.
That's the first thing my mom said. She's like, okay, you're going to get a car to get to work to pay for your car.
Yeah.
And it really was the truth, kind of.
It really is.
But also having that freedom was great,
Yes, and I want to like just kind of correct what I said. Like, I'm totally for driving anywhere if you want to. Just wish there's more options. It's kind of, you're forced to drive.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it.
Oh, yeah. They won't even let you take a scooter or a Lime on the interstate.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Like, there might be one state allows it. What state allows scooters on the interstate? Can you bring that up?
What state is allowing you to scooter on a highway?
It might be New Hampshire or something. They don't give a fuck there. As long as you're an organ donor, they'll let you fucking do whatever you want, bro. As long as you are donating plant-based organs back to society.
That's wild.
So when I was a kid, you felt like you had to have a job, right? Mm-hmm. And my mom I was raised by my mom. She always had a job. She had a job like, I don't think she only had like, it was always work, and parents would have been ashamed if they didn't have a job. Do the younger generations feel that same way? Like people that you're talking to, do they have that same feeling about work?
No, there's something really interesting happening in our culture right now that I cannot define super well. I always mess up with the words. Infantilization. Infantilization, yes.
Okay.
Thank you. A lot of people, I don't know. Everyone's like, I'm 19, I'm still a child. There's a lot of that conversations that I'm having on my show. And honestly, I didn't notice it too much until I started doing my show. And then, being a little active on Reddit or Twitter, it's like everyone's really acting like they're a kid until they're like 25 now. I don't really know what's
baby syndrome kind of.
I was so excited to be 18 and have my freedom and just go make money, do what I want, go to college, figure it out. And there's so many learning lessons you get during that time period. But now it's like I'm a child. Not everyone, but it definitely feels like a cultural shift.
Huh.
You know those predator like beating videos online?
Oh yeah, there's so many of them now.
Yeah. One thing that's I just saw yesterday on Twitter or X that was just kind of demonstrating what happens when Gen Z meets with those predator beating videos. They lured someone, as usual, to meet an underage person to beat the crap out of the person. Mm-hmm. But the Gen Z people lured a 21-year-old to meet an 18-year-old and beat the shit out of the 21-year-old for meeting an 18-year-old because it's a huge, crazy underage 18-year-old who's a child.
Right.
So we must beat the crap out of the 21. It's really weird.
Like, what are you saying? Like, that was just like they can't even do that, right? You're saying like,
no, it's just it's thinking that.
Oh, I see. It says 5 Worcester.
Oh, Brandon's on it.
Students charged after mob beats up falsely accused child predator, and that's in Worcester. Oh, I'm sorry, I know this place, Worcester, Mass. 5 students from Assumption University in Worcester are facing charges of kidnapping and assaulting a man for a TikTok inspired to catch a predator. Police are saying that the man did nothing wrong, as court documents state the man went to meet a woman who was listed as 18 years old online. So what are we saying here? Are we saying the school would not say what disciplinary action, if any, may take? First of all, the math department should take action against these fucking predators.
Yeah.
Because you have to at least be a predator.
Yes.
You can't just, it's so hard to meet people now. And this guy finally comes out of his house to meet somebody and he gets jumped.
That's crazy. But no, you're seeing it all over social media right now.
But what are you saying about this?
I'm saying that they think you're still a child at 18 and 19 and 20.
Oh, I see. You're saying so that you think part of that was this.
Yeah. They're talking about age gaps. If you're dating with someone 2 years, like over 2 years, people are freaking out now online. It's crazy. The pearl clutching's wild online right now. Lots of just like over sensationalized, just everything right now. But I'm seeing that in these conversations where people are like 20 and they think they're still a child. They don't have to. There's no responsibility yet. They can just lean on everyone around them, their family, and they just don't have to take care of anything yet. And that it's kind of hard to see. But that case that we just saw is further demonstrating that impacting other parts of the culture as well. Like we're seeing it across the board.
Yeah.
There's also this on TikTok especially, there's like this victim Olympic stuff going on where people are trying to over victimize. Like, I'm more of a victim than you from this thing. And it's like, it's an always over, just stepping over each other on who's the biggest victim.
It's so funny you say that. I saw something like this. I love where you're at, man. Cause even some of the things you're saying, it's like things that I couldn't, you're just at this really unique intersection, I think. I just wanted to say that. I'm just realizing that more as I talk to you. But yeah, I'll see things. It's like, yeah, the fires are really bad, but realizing that it's been 11 days since your boyfriend texted you back, right? And you're like, and someone will be walking down the street with flames in the back, but they're making it about them and their boyfriend or something, you know?
It's crazy.
Or hope my DoorDasher's okay. It looks dangerous out here today. And they'll be from their balcony looking for their taco order. And there's buildings on fire. Like, what are we fucking...
I don't know, man.
Turn on your stove and also leave and go rescue yourself. You're going to risk it all for some raviolis? It's just, it's almost like people don't even feel like they're going to die. It's almost like, before I go off on too much of a tangent, whose fault do you think that is, that there's some of that mentality, right?
Dude.
Is it the parents or is it just society? Where are you finding the fault of that, you know?
I haven't seen parents like talk about it, so I don't see them doing it. I'm sure there's always an impact, right? But I think a lot of the TikTokification of things, and I love TikTok. I mean, we got 1 billion views on TikTok last year, you know?
Congratulations,
I'm happy.
man.
Well, thank you. But like, even still, I've seen videos of examples of people talking about a story from their past, and they're just sharing a story about something that was just, you know, slightly inconvenient. And then people go in their comment sections and say, no, actually, you're a victim. You're a victim of all this, that. Like, there was some TikTok I was watching. I don't know. I think I was watching a reaction to it. Someone was talking about how they had an awkward hand-holding experience when they were in high school. And people were going through the comments like, no, you were raped. And it's like, fuck me. Yeah. And they're just, I don't know. It's just this enabling.
Thumb raped or knuckle raped. Shit, like stuff like that. You're like, what are you going to do, a swab kit now on my hand, you know?
It's very interesting. So people, it's just kind of this reoccurring thing where just everyone's trying to one-up each other on the victim scale, but also trying to tell other people that they're victims. It's really interesting. But we're also starting to see a little bit of a cultural shift in it, I feel like, where like not everyone's like respected immediately who comes out of the gate and just like, you know, tries to act like this big victim all the time, especially other creators that try to come out and be like, I'm a big victim from this other creator who like said something bad about me. And then you can clearly see when you like look at their social blade, and that video they made was their most popular video of all time. I'm like, oh, wonder why they did that.
Right. So now if somebody gets views off of victimhood.
Yeah, in some ways. I mean, but
I think you saw, go ahead.
Well, the shitty part is it actually just diminishes like real victims.
Oh, for sure. Well, I think I saw this with Mark Zuckerberg the other day. He was on Joe Rogan's show, and he was talking about, bring up some of the clips. He was talking about how Mark Zuckerberg tells Joe Rogan podcast, Biden administration tried to censor memes in surprise episode.
These people from the Biden administration would call up our team and like scream at them and curse, and it's like these documents it's all kind of out there.
Did you record any of those phone calls?
I don't think we were, but I think
I want to listen.
I mean, there are emails. the emails are published. It's all kind of out there, and they're like, and basically it just got to this point where we were like, no, we're not gonna take down things that are true. That's ridiculous. They wanted us to take down this meme of Leonardo DiCaprio looking at a TV talking about how 10 years from now or something, you're going to see an ad that says, okay, if you took a COVID vaccine, you're eligible for, for this kind of payment, like this sort of like class action lawsuit type meme. And they're like, no, you have to take that down. And we just said, no, we're not going to take down humor and satire.
Okay, that's good. And first of all, I believe you will probably see things like that because it's a lot how drug companies work, right? But I think this is exactly what he's doing. Because they admitted before to like only putting certain stuff up during like deciding what it was misinformation or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is just it's awkward for a platform to decide, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like, unless something is sexual violence, things like that. I don't think that should be on, but for them to decide. What was misinformation. But I feel like that's what he's doing here now. He's playing the victim here. He's trying to say,
I see what you're saying.
that, we didn't, they were telling us to do stuff, instead of him saying we were doing these things, right?
They're calling and swearing.
Yes.
Oh, no, not swearing.
Right.
Oh, no.
Right. He's just trying to say, we were a victim of all this. And you're almost playing, now you're pointing fingers at a sinking ship, since Biden is, first of all, he's not, it's not fair to communicate with him, I don't think, and probably hasn't been for a bit, because he's just not mentally well, right? Okay. And no judgment against his party but just to me, I've always felt like they were taking advantage of a senior citizen, right? Like if that were my father or grandfather, I'd be kind of upset, that people are marching him out every day because he believes what you're telling him, right? He believes that he's fully capable and competent,
Okay,
right?
all right.
But yeah, in this instance, that's exactly, you say that there's creators doing that. I think this is one of the biggest creators doing exactly what you're saying.
Well, I mean, we had a prime example. We called the episode, our titles are wild, but someone finally walks off financial audit. I guess that's actually not that.
Someone
title.
Finally, what you said?
Walks off financial audit.
Okay.
And one of her big, she was a perpetual victim throughout her life. One of her big things is she sat down and we were talking about creating a better income for her. And she said, my therapist told me I can't have a boss. So she can't work ever because she's not able to have any kind of authority around her, because it would make her feel too
triggered or something.
Yeah.
Right.
So she just couldn't have a boss ever.
Right.
Also, she can't do any physical activity or labor or anything. So has to sit down and do her veterinary stuff from her house, but won't get hired. And half of her resume, by the way, was like activist stuff anyway. So
right.
Someone you'd be a little afraid of hiring because you don't know what they're gonna do to the culture of the company. So she's not gonna get hired, but she also can't have a boss.
Right, but she kind of low-key does have a boss if she's listening to her therapist, because then the therapist is like, well, you're gonna pay me. And you almost become an employee of your therapist. In some ways, I'm not saying that's exactly what happened, but sometimes that will happen to people. And then, people are like, I can't lift anything heavy because, in a past life, I was a weightlifter or something who was injured. And you're like, well, we got to get the boxes on the shelves. Okay? It
is difficult, yeah. And she may have had a physical disability with that, but then not being able to have a boss, you can't just, but then complain about how everything's bad. And let's be honest, there's no way her therapist told her she shouldn't have a boss.
Yeah.
A therapist wouldn't say that.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times you'll pay and then but that kind of becomes a, like an emotional race card in a way sometimes, where people are like, my therapist said that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she was lost all over the place, so I'm not surprised. But again, she was also another victim kind of in her relationship. She was dating a dude for 8 years. They got married, but she decided 2 weeks into her marriage, she wants to try titties, just on the other side.
Date women, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just go over the other side and hang out a little bit. He didn't want to. So he's a bad person for leaving her because she wanted to date women 2 weeks into marriage.
Right. You can't just be funding lesbianism if you don't want to be. Yeah. It's like, you can support it, but if your wife leaves you, you shouldn't still have to be the guy funding it.
Yeah. Or if you don't want to be open, especially. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You want a committed relationship.
So he's the bad guy because.
Right. So a lot of blame.
2 weeks into marriage.
What do you think is the number one thing that's preventing, Gen Zers from working? Or do you think we already talked about that? Let me see where we're at right now.
Well, I mean, honestly, 60 to 70% of Americans say that they're, they report feeling stress about money. 60 to 65 say they are living paycheck to paycheck. 50 to 60% can't cover a $1,000 emergency. 1 in 4 have no retirement savings. Median 401k balance is $30,000. There's a lot of things that people got to catch up on. And the big thing that kind of sucks, and this is where I do feel bad for any younger generation, where college is getting more expensive, life gets more expensive. I mean, that's what happens. You need to start saving as early as you can, because income's not your biggest wealth building tool, as Dave Ramsey says. I'd say that time is, because you need time in the market to let it grow. If you put $1 in at 20, it's worth so much more than $1 in at 30. But the more expensive things are, and the more we treat you like a child who doesn't have to work, and it's okay to take your time after college, and it's okay to go into debt, and it's okay to do all this stuff, the further you are from not only putting money towards retirement, but covering the $1,000 emergency or paying off the debt that's eating 30% interest a year.
Yeah, the more you have that, the more that mentality is accepted and nurtured and becomes like a habit, then surely the further you are from, if you're not even taking care of your responsibilities or, hitting like a bottom line or breaking even, then yeah, you're certainly not going to be investing.
Exactly.
Do you see that nepotism is an issue? Because, there's a lot of there was always this idea of Reaganomics where the top % will have the money and there'll be this trickle down, right?
Yeah.
But that's never really kind of happened, it felt like.
Right. It's interesting, yeah.
Do you think nepotism, just how big of an issue is nepotism? Do you feel like you hear a lot about these days about Nepo babies, right?
Yeah.
I just wonder if you hear a lot about that in the financial world, oh, you're just like a trust fund baby or something like that,
Honestly, you don't see too much of that in my world. We've seen people that get a big sum of money. I just talked to someone the other day. She got almost $250,000 from a passed away relative, but she went into that pile of money without any behavior knowledge of how to utilize money. She's only been in debt throughout her entire life, only just blows all her money, more than she makes. So the moment she got that, well, of course, does it get saved or invested or pay off debt? No, it's gone in 5 years, just blowing it on fun stuff. So I'm okay if someone can prove themselves, that they have the talent to be known. And of course, we all, do you have any kids?
I don't have any children. I would like to have some.
Yeah. I mean, you probably want the best future for them. So
right. You do want the best future for your children.
Yeah,
for sure.
You'd probably be willing to utilize some of your connections to help if you can.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that, but it should also be based on skill. So give them the opportunity, but if they fuck up the opportunity, okay, good luck.
Yeah.
So I'm good with Nepo as long as they're proving it a little, but you got to teach that behavior.
Yeah.
Teach that behavior so they don't just blow through what you give them.
Oh, yeah. I was talking to Lil Boosie one time. He's a rapper, if you're not familiar with him. And he was talking about how the hardest thing to teach is your hustle to your children, right? Your same energy for, if you didn't have certain things growing up, he's it is so hard to transfer that energy to your children.
Absolutely.
And at the same time, want to give them just, the basic needs even, and the basic needs sometimes will be fancier because you have more money to spend. Take me through a couple of examples, if you can, Caleb, of Gen Zers or millennials and some of the issues, just specific things that they've showed up with on your show.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we had, this is a couple we just talked about.
Because it's so entertaining. This is one thing that's so great. It's it really is. It's just yeah, it's a financial Jerry Springer, and it's so funny that you had already coined that term for you guys selves.
Well, people use it as an insult, but it's not, so I just accepted it.
I don't think so at all.
I think as long as people are actually getting help and we connect them with resources and they 1,000,000% know what they're getting into, I think it's just the most fun thing ever. And then they have fun. Then the audience has fun. And what's crazy is we could sit down and we could just do the most boring finance content ever, and 50,000 people watch it or something, and some people learn something. Or we could do this true, real show that is also really entertaining. Hundreds of thousands, millions of people watch it, and then we've calculated about 20,000 people at least have, which is based on comments and things, have gotten out of debt, saved for an emergency fund, have actually changed their life just because of watching this show that has gotten to them that they're interested in.
Yeah, and I think it's almost I can almost see this happening where we will get to To Catch a Predator videos of you pulling up on somebody, or not even you, just the way society is, right? Because you're kind of at this perfect section of capitalism and voyeurism. Right?
Okay.
Where I could see there almost being a To Catch a Predator of somebody buying something that they can't afford, and you pull up on them on the spot. It's almost you're catching them in a transaction.
Yeah.
And it's you can't afford this, man. What are you doing,
Chop up their credit card on the spot.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I feel that's where we're headed,
Some people could use it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. There's someone walking around a mall right now that should not be in there that is pretending, to probably has empty bags in their hands with weights in them.
Yeah.
Some very light weights or old clothes, and is just pretending this illusion of like living in some fantasy, you know?
Well, honestly, like cities like Austin and Nashville is kind of similar to Austin, so I wouldn't be surprised if Nashville as well. It's like the richer someone looks, likely the poorer they are because they're really compensating, driving a slightly nicer car, nicer clothes. They're usually in mountains of debt where you just have a dude like Zuckerberg. Well, now he looks a little, he's gone carrot head and everything or broccoli head. But, before he looked like he was like poverty, but he's a billionaire. So
yeah.
Lots of compensation.
Yeah, he kind of has that autism billionaire vibe,
Yeah.
Which I think is like kind of the new. A lot of billionaires are autistic now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the new thing. So who knows what they're going to do? Some of them. He looks like he doesn't even eat or anything. Could you imagine him eating a meal? I couldn't.
Yeah, so he's gaining, man. He's getting those gains.
I know. I'm not saying he's not healthy or something. Yeah. I just think it's he gives off a computer energy to me sometimes.
Look up that surfing photo. Dude,
that's a good point.
Dude
actually
has a dump truck. You don't get that not eating. There it is. Look at that thing. Good for him.
And he's in whiteface there, so obviously they were reprogramming him or something. And they had to put his face in the shop for a week or something. No, certainly an amazing creator, but I do think there's this very strong link between autism and technological advancement that I think we'll figure out in the future. But
that'd be nice. I think I have a bit of tism, but probably not enough tism to get to the three comma club.
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
Yeah, it's okay, but still, you get graced with a little.
Yeah, the 2 comma club.
Yeah.
It's
fine.
I
beat it. I barely beat it, dude. And they said it was very close in our area. Can you take me through a couple of examples?
Absolutely.
Just so my listeners can know like some of the stuff that's on your show, right?
Yeah. Do you want them to pull up some shorts even?
Yeah. I know we have a couple.
Oh, sure. We were just talking to this couple. They're both okay, try not to get canceled. I guess lesbian couple. And they
we know what lesbians are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're obsessed with Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of Disney adults are, and they're Gen Z, and they are obsessed with birthday months. I hear birthday month so much with Gen Z and girl math. And
what is your birthday month? That thing?
Birthday month. So you have to celebrate. So for their birthday month, they spent $2,000 on Disney exclusive passes, and then went to Disney World, spent a lot of money on that. Then they're going to Disney World 2 times next month, and then 1 time in the summer for different birthdays, different birthday months. And they spent, what did I have? $21,000 in 1 month when they make $7,000 a month.
And what is it? It's not like is it like lessons to talk like characters? Like how far, like what are they getting into?
I don't know. They live in Arizona and they drive to LA to just have their little special birthday month. This is their birthday.
Right.
I can go into debt and fuck my life. It's my birthday.
Oh, I see. So something as simple as your birthday, they can go 20 grand in a debt.
Yeah.
Right.
The whole month.
Let's see this right here. And this is some of it.
2 Disneys in these last couple months. 2 Disneys next month. You guys are literally poor.
We only went for 1 day in November.
You still traveled there, bought a gagillion dollars of food.
Took our nephew for his birthday.
His birthday.
And then we went for my birthday.
Oh, if I hear one more thing out about lesbians and their nephew,
His birthday. I don't give a shit about birthdays. What is this obsession with birthdays? How are you guys getting there from Mesa?
Getting one.
It's in LA, so it costs money to get there.
Yeah, we drive. We drive there.
So you're getting places to live? Does it cover the place to live when you're there?
Nope.
So you're spending money to spend more money?
Yes.
Do you get the free food while you're in there and free drinks?
No, we pay for that too separately.
What the
Wow.
talking about?
10% off merch.
Got
Is
it.
this not fucking crazy?
So yeah, it's like you would think, especially you can find deals nowadays where they probably could have got some free food vouchers or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
or just stayed off campus and went. I'm okay if they go like once a year. They have like 5 planned trips already.
Yeah.
For Disney.
And what does that give them? I think strippers and lesbians love Disneyland, right? I noticed that. Lesbians also love this. It's our nephew's birthday, right? Because for a lot of lesbians, it's probably as close as they'll get to having a child, right? Just because of science, math, or whatever. And nowadays that's changing some, but for a long time, a lot of lesbians are like, we got to get our nephew. It was like that's like the biggest, craziest thing. So I think there's a lot of nephew obsession in the lesbian community as well. Yeah. But that's a lot of money on Disney.
Yeah, it is. Dude,
and not much return. You get a return, but you're an adult also.
Yeah, but unlike most lesbians, I think they're going to last forever, though, because they're on the same page. And usually couples that aren't on the same page about money, that's where they divorce. But they're on the same page about wanting to ruin their lives for Disney. So it's okay. They'll be fine.
Yeah, they need to have a Disney. Now, I wish Disney had a hostel or kind of like a Section 8 area.
Yeah, they should.
Because that would be very magical if you ended up like in the trenches.
Yeah, instead of the monorail, you get a little spray painted one. Just it's a little sketchy. Someone tweaking out in there.
Yeah. But it has somebody's put like Elsa likes to on the side or something, or just spray painted some wild shit on it. I think that could be kind of interesting. Okay, so you're talking to people that are wasting too much money.
Usually,
right?
Lots of debt.
Okay, a lot of debt. What are some other ones that you're seeing?
We had this dude. Frustrated incel buys women instead of dating was the title.
Ooh.
He went into $8,000 of credit card debt just so he could go to strip clubs. He sacrificed eating so he had more money to go to strip clubs.
Wow.
2,000 hours a week on strip clubs. And his quote was, "I'm a Sigma male. I can just go to the strip club and get some booty that way." I guess it's easier for him. He was a little disappointed, though, that he couldn't lick or bite them, though. That was his one complaint.
Okay, so he didn't get the fluid pass or whatever. I don't know what.
That was another one of our guests that got the fluid pass.
Wow. Yeah. Well, strippers is that age-old kind of bait and switch. It's the illusion, That's why they always catch men like masturbating in their cars outside of strip clubs because they're, they've built up this whole illusion. That's a lot of money to spend on stripping. Now, I respect the fact that he was going without eating, though.
Yeah,
because a lot of people are just like, I'm going to snack and whatever and still waste this money.
Yeah, he picked it up in the military. I guess that's what they were all doing overseas.
Visiting strippers and stuff?
I guess. That's how they made it through.
Dieting and visiting strippers, yeah. I could see that. There was another one you had. What was the one? Bring up one of the ones that we had pulled up. The guy in the red suit was an interesting guy.
Oh, yeah.
I took the loan out to fund my emergency fund.
Where is this emergency fund today? I saw about $1,000.
Stop it real quick. So this guy took a loan out to fund his emergency fund.
Yeah, like 20% interest, too. By the way, dropped from $2,500.
I spent some of it.
On what emergency?
Learning how to do hair extensions.
Okay.
That's an emergency?
I wouldn't say it's an emergency.
What do you think an emergency fund is for?
I took the money out of the emergency fund to buy a class for extensions.
The interest rate on this is 28.64%.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, so originally it wasn't for the emergency fund. I just thought that would be a good idea.
Okay, so let's stop it there. So this is the kind of stuff that you're running into.
Absolutely, all the time.
And this is a young man. He took money out at 28.64% interest to learn hair extension lessons, and that was considered an emergency.
Well, first the fund is emergency fund, so he takes out 28%, even though like the best thing you get in a high yield savings is 4% right now, something like that. So you're losing a net 23%. But even still, then he just drains it from the emergency fund to learn hair extensions, which invest in yourself, invest in your skills. We like that.
Right.
At 30%, I don't know. No one would say go get a degree for 30% interest. So learning hair extensions of that doesn't make sense. But he wants to move to Thailand to escape it, though. So I think that's his out.
To escape the debt, you mean?
To escape capitalism is what he specifically said. Yeah.
Do you see a lot of that? I'm going to fly away to another country. That seems like a very fairy tale type of energy.
Honestly, no, surprisingly. A lot of people, when they just get overwhelmed by their finances, they really just put their head in the sand and they just forget about it until it all comes and bites them in the ass. And that's usually when they come on our show. They realize they've had too much and they watch one of our episodes and they're like, oh shit, I got to apply. And that's when we usually see them, is when they've realized it's too much and they're in the most dire situation, but they haven't fully awakened to why. So they're still defensive on things. I'm sure they're nervous on camera. They're just normal people off the street, but that's why they're still defensive and they're trying to understand like what is going on. And there's lots of cope talk across the table from me.
And what does cope talk mean when you use that term?
Yeah, just like I was allowed to do it. It was my birthday month. It's okay.
Excuses.
Yeah, it was okay to go to school for 12 years and take out private student loans to pay for an expensive apartment. I was just trying to survive.
So a lot of people trying to, it seems like, deflect the reality of the world.
Yeah.
Like, what can I do? What class can I take? What school can I stay in longer? What can I do to not have to face the fact every day that I have to be the one to survive myself?
Absolutely. And I was there too. It just takes that moment. It takes that moment for everything.
Totally.
I haven't hit it for going to the gym or dieting, but it takes that moment for plunging into the deep end.
Yeah.
There's usually something. For me, it might be a heart attack, but for my finances, it was, shit, I can't pay this month's rent. I'm continuing the cycle of foreclosure notices. So they usually find their moment, but they just don't know why things are bad, but that's when they come on. We meet them at the bottom. Usually. Some need a little further to go. And that sucks to see.
Yeah,
that sucks to see. But people that have come on our show, though, the median guest pays off $10,000 in 10 months.
Really?
So it does work. Like, it works really well. They just need that wake up call, a little of that adult moment where it's the first time someone's given them like the real shit without just trying to skate around.
Yeah, because then also after you have a piece of reality that's really like a moment, like these are real moments with people who have made some mistakes, or 'cause we've all been there. I mean, I remember I had a cell phone. I was like, I'm not paying Verizon. They don't know me. That was my thought. These fuckers don't know me, right? And I was on a bicycle at the time. Mm-hmm. I was on my bike on the cell phone, just eating up minutes or whatever, just running up a tab. Mm-hmm. And I was like, these motherfuckers don't know who I am. You know what I'm saying? I'd like to see them come get this fucking money, right? And my friend's house who I was living at, his dad was like, get fucked, pay the shit.
Yeah.
And then I think that's when it started hitting me like, oh shit. It hit my credit, right? I didn't even know I had credit. Until they called like, hey, your credit's bad. I'm like, what is it?
Yeah.
And like, your credit? And I was like, yeah.
Dude,
put him on. And they're like, no, your credit's bad. And they're like, you owe $1,100 to Verizon. I thought you could just run away from it, and you can't. But that was like kind of a bottom for me. I was like, oh, shit is really real, right? Mm-hmm. So I think moments like this are really real to people. And then you have a gentleman here who seems to be kind of sexually fluid, I'll say maybe. I have no idea. He's dressing up like, he kind of has the look of, he's like the arch nemesis of like the Monopoly guy or whatever, right? Okay. Or kind of like a Christmas sort of, like a like kind of like a
Carmen Sandiego.
Yes, like hey, like kind of like Carl Sandiego, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like he has this and it's a good energy. I like so obviously he's brave to have his own vibe, right? You can tell that, right? He's
confident. He's a business owner, this guy.
He is? Wow.
Wannabe business owner.
Wannabe business owner. But then he also has this emergency fund. And I think a lot of people sometimes when they'll create an emergency fund, a lot of fluid people will be very like, oh, this jacket doesn't fit. It's an emergency. The emergencies can be very, it's like, is that a real emergency type of thing?
They see it as a pile of money.
Yeah.
And that pile of money needs to be spent, of course.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, that's still a better mindset than where a lot of people come to. A lot of people will come on the show and they really haven't heard of emergency funds, and they say their credit card is their emergency fund. Oh. And that's... he took out a high interest loan for it, so I guess that's pretty similar. But at least he understood he needed an emergency fund. Some people think if anything happens, you put it on a credit card. Now, a lot of people don't have an option, so they do that. But then, we try to help them pay off the credit card as quick as possible.
Yeah. What do you see is there a lot of flexing still? Like, I know that's a thing where people are like, I'm going to appear this way,
Absolutely.
Right? Is that a big thing you're seeing still with like millennials and Gen Z is like the appearance of things? Or are some people more go into like the emo hole of like, I don't have anything, I have nothing, I live in a Chipotle deep inside of a Chipotle type of vibe?
No, there's still lots of flexing and lots of cope spending too. The flexing, we have people come on with, that outfit I think was a couple $1,000.
No way, really?
Yeah, it was very expensive. I didn't think it was. But even he had red sunglasses too. They were like a few $100. It was crazy.
And hats like that, those hats are kind of costly, I know.
Yeah. We've had a dude come on with, crazy rings on every single finger, but he had nothing to his name. If I remember right, he had kids and they were basically growing up in poverty, but at least he has the rings. So there's always lots of flexing. People care about what the person next to them at the stoplight thinks about their car.
Yeah.
You know, even though that person will never remember them 30 seconds from then.
Yeah.
I've had lots of people that I talk to where I try to get them out of a $40,000 car loan when they make $30,000 that they can't afford. And I'm like, let's just try to get you into a $10,000 car. And then they scoff at a $10,000 car. Like I'm going to be seen in a $10,000 car. And that mindset's kind of gross, honestly.
Right. Because it's not even it's because you're not living in your own reality then. It's like, yeah, I think that was a blessing about having a shitty car when I was a kid. I earned the money. I bought the car. It was a piece of shit. Someone stole the passenger seat. But I drove it, you know. People would get in and just had to get in immediately into the back seat.
Yeah.
You know, but it was like I drove, but it was.
Well, you learn the value of it.
Oh,
and that's the important part. So many people that can just lean on others, and especially those get we see so much enablement where they get into a hard time, but then their parents bail them out. And there's nothing wrong with the heart of wanting to help someone out, but they never learn their lesson, and then they never understand the value of $1,000 even, or just $1. But like, there's so many instances where I'm talking about $300 that they're spending on something, and that means nothing to them. Like $300 isn't a lot of money when it could be make or break for these people just making a necessary payment, avoiding a repo. But then $300 is nothing to them. They just don't understand the value of $1 because they never had to.
Right.
Because you had that car, you had to put money into fixing that car probably multiple times, or being terrified of it just bottoming out on the street. You understood the value of it. So you're not just like being disrespectful with your car purchases going forward. You understand it.
Yeah. Are you ready to optimize your nutrition this year? Well, Factor has chef-made, yes, chef, gourmet meals that make eating, well, easy. They're dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes. That's quick. So you can fuel right and feel great no matter what life throws at you. Factor arrives fresh and fully prepared, perfect for any active, busy lifestyle. I've had Factor meals and I enjoy them. I enjoy the accessibility. I'm hungry. I don't know what I want to eat. I don't really know if I have time to make myself something nice, but boom, Factor has already done it for you. That's what I like. Eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/THEO50OFF and use code Theo50OFF to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code Theo50OFF at factormeals.com/Theo50OFF to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp, it's therapy. That's what it is. I'll tell you point blank. You know, sometimes you want to get therapy. Something's going on. And I've had friends that have needed help and not gotten it. And it's scary. Life can be that way. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to just make sure you're aware. You know, sometimes we can be dealing with stuff and we don't even notice it, you know? So I just want you to make sure you're taking care of yourself. And if you're afraid to try therapy one-on-one in person, then BetterHelp. They can help. That's right. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists with a wide range of specialties. And you can switch easily from one therapist to another. Visit betterhelp.com/Theo to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/THEO. And if you've been struggling, man, we've all been there. Or woman, we've all been there. And this too shall pass. Are there a lot of get rich now type of energy out there?
Oh, yes.
Is there?
And that kind of goes back to TikTok and YouTube.
Yeah, take me to some of that. What do you think? What is some of that? What is some of that get rich now? Yeah, some of that get rich now energy.
Schemes.
What is that?
Pyramid schemes people are falling into. I had someone going into a ball python pyramid scheme that I just talked to.
No way.
Yeah. So he buys 10 baby ball pythons from his friend. Mm-hmm. But how do you make money off of these ball pythons that are supposed to breed?
Okay, so hold on. You get 10 baby ball pythons, and then you pay somebody, you get the 10 baby ball pythons. Yep. Okay. And now what do I do with these baby ball pythons? How do I get pyramided in?
Well, how do you make money? What would you do to make money off of baby ball
I think you'd have to mate them and then sell 10 to somebody else.
Yeah. Now who's buying them?
People you know.
No. People that want to buy them so that they can breed them to sell them to people who breed them.
Okay.
Because people aren't buying them for pets. You go to a PetSmart for that. No one's buying from these guys.
Right.
You buy the baby ball pythons hoping they make kids so that you can sell them to others who want to make kids and sell to others. And he got sucked into that, tens of thousands of dollars. And his 90-day fiance wife from somewhere in Central America is like freaking out about this. She moved here, sacrificed everything. Yeah. And this dude's blowing all his money on this. And also like a million other side hustles. He's trying to do the power washing. He's trying to do the car detailing. Anything that is a TikTok get rich quick type of thing, or even just the side hustle things that some people do make work. He is just falling into it. And the pythons, that's his most recent example. But the pythons he bought have gone down 50% in value because apparently you can day trade. You can day trade the ball pythons on like a little market app.
There's a market app for day trading ball pythons.
Yeah.
So not only has somebody created a pyramid scheme of ball pythoning, right? Yeah. So you're ball pythoning, you're selling a few grams of ball python here, an eight ball python here, and then but then the whole time somebody's also, whoever engineered this fucking thing, also created an app where there's like almost a ball python coin market. Yeah. So that's going up and down as well.
Yeah.
So you're basically driving around town with a backseat full of ball pythons waiting for the market to go up enough.
Yeah.
So you can pull over and put a couple ball pythons on somebody's tab.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's my exit strategy.
Bring that up. What the fuck? What in the fuck is happening, man?
That's Hawktua's next pump and dump.
I know, huh? Where's she been at?
She went to bed.
Somebody said she went to Barbados or something and she moved out of the country. Okay. But so that's a new thing that's going on.
Apparently.
What's another one that's going on? Any other pyramid schemes?
Lots of people getting into the knives pyramid schemes. They're buying, I don't even know what they're called. I've never joined them, but they buy knives to sell to other people. So lots of those, lots of people getting into the day trading life, crypto life. We had some old guy with no retirement. Poor dude. Oh. I felt so bad. He like blew through $1 million somehow. Filmed it a couple years ago, and super nice dude. But he fell into this pyramid scheme of you like buy these nutrients that people can take, but you hope they come to a storefront to step in a body scanner that tells them how healthy they are. Then they buy your nutrients. But I asked if we could come by and tour his business like a couple months after that. He kind of fell off the face of the earth. I feel like his shop doesn't exist anywhere on Google Maps, so I think that pyramid scheme collapsed. Well, the reality is, though, the reality is, in retirement, again, we already talked about 15 to 20% are actually able to, or actually 15 to 20% of people take early withdrawals before even 60. Mm-hmm. And that the median 401k balance is 30,000, but it's low and slow. That's all it is. You're cooking a nice piece of meat. It's low and slow. That's what your retirement fund needs to be. You're just hoping it doubles like every 7 years or so in the market. You just got to be investing like 20% a year, 20% a year. If
20% a year is a lot.
It's a lot, but if you accurately budget, it can be relatively decent.
Even $5 a week is a great amount.
Yeah, starting anywhere is great. Starting anywhere. I mean, that's why we focus on getting out of debt first so that you have more to invest.
Right.
Out of the high interest debt. But what a lot of people suggest is 50, 30, 20, 50% on needs, 30% on wants because you want to be able to live. What's the point of being here if we're not having fun? And then 20% to investing. So it's still the smallest percentage.
Okay. But say if you have debt, right?
Yeah.
And you could save $5 every week.
What's the debt?
You could save, say you're $10,000 in debt.
Okay.
And you're 25 years old.
Okay.
And you could save $20 a week, right? Mm-hmm. Would you rather you put that $20 a week towards paying off the debt, or is it better to take that 20 and put it towards just like a long-term investment?
Well, a couple qualifications. Like, what would you say the interest rate of the debt is? And what is the debt?
That's a good point. I would say the interest rate of the debt is probably going to be about 14% or something.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Debt immediately. Because one, it's probably not even an asset. Like, at least a car's an asset, even if it's a depreciating one. But let's just say it's a credit card or a private student loan. That's not going to benefit anything at that point.
Got it.
So pay that off. And then the other question is, there's also the third category. Do you have an emergency fund? If you don't have an emergency fund, then at that point, we're still funding the emergency fund over investing because you need to protect yourself in case of the rainy day. And the rainy day always comes.
Because there's this mentality, I think sometimes it's like, oh, I'm not going to pay off that credit card. I'm going to invest. I'm going to save this money and invest. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to invest in instead. But you're really just reverse engineering a nightmare, kind of.
Best thing you're going to get if you're just buying into the overall U.S. stock market is an 8% return averaged out. Because that's what it's been all up years, down years since the beginning. Has been 8%. So if you have 15% debt, you're just not making the difference.
Right. Is college still considered a normal path for a lot of Gen Z?
Yeah, it can be. College, people just do college in a really stupid way, though. People go to the dream school that has the sports team they want for the major that doesn't make money. So it's not that college is the bad thing. It's you can do it the right way. Get your gen eds out of the way at a community college. Something, ACC here is super cheap. You can go for a couple $100 a semester and get some credits.
A lot of diversity, too, at those colleges. You want to meet some, you know what I'm saying, an Asian girl or guy or something?
Yeah.
Do it.
And larger class sizes as well. So there's a benefit instead of a big hall that you get in university. So you get more one-on-one time with professors at community college. It's actually usually just kind of better education. Just also statistically, the people that are going to community college are also more likely to drop out. So that's why some of the metrics are a little bit skewed.
I see. And if you're going to drop out, then you're dropping out there at a cheaper at a cheaper rate.
But then you don't have to go out of state. You don't have to go to the private college. You don't have to go to the college that has your favorite sports team that's going to go in the, going to win a national championship in football. You don't need that.
Right.
And then also when you're going to college, is it going to have a return on the investment for the degree you're actually trying to get to? And if you don't know what you want to do, there's nothing wrong with taking a year off between high school and college to figure some things out. Maybe do a trade. Look at a trade. See if you're interested in that. Take a career quiz.
A trade, you mean?
Yeah, just look and see if that's something you're interested in. And then you can go to trade school in a smart and dumb way as well. There's expensive ones out there, and there's just average ones. And I don't want you to focus all your money and time on something you don't even want to do just because, plumber, they make great money these days. The median's whatever it is, but it's pretty good. If you don't have any interest in getting on your hands and knees and doing that shit, maybe we're not doing that.
Right. Yeah, you want to have some interest in what you're doing for sure, and you want to find something. I mean, that's one nice thing. Sometimes about going to a community college or going to a college is taking on some different courses and seeing what might I be interested in. I know I like something about this, but I don't know what it is yet. Let me get at least into that realm of classes.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to remember people that go to college, 40% drop out. So this is not a guaranteed thing. People think just because they're going to go to college, okay, my life is set now. 40% who take out student loans drop out of college.
Wow, really?
I was one of them. I dropped out $40,000 of federal student loans and $12,000 private.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it took me, I think, 11 years or something, or 10 and a half, or 10 and 6 years, almost, 11 years, I think, to do college.
Yeah, it happens.
And it costs money. Dude, I took a couple classes, you already took this class, and I remember being like, yeah, I know, I'm good at it. I'm going to fucking take it again.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Doubling up the degree?
Yeah, and and I remember one time this teacher gave me a B. I went and took her class again to fucking prove to her I could get an A.
Did you prove to her?
I think she got laid off. She was dealing with addiction, pill addiction.
Okay.
But I did a good, I did my best, that's for sure. What are some things, say they don't know what they're doing right now, right? They don't know. What are let's go over some blue collar and then non-blue collar jobs that people could do. You could start at home. I've always said pressure washing. I grew up in a neighborhood where if you wanted to get a leg up, you could get a pressure washer, a couple $100.
Sure.
You can get a nice one for $500-$600. Now you have to get that money first, but
yes,
it's realistic. And then you can start you can go to a wealthy person's area and be like, hey, I'll pressure wash it, and you can do a good job. What are some other jobs like that you recommend to people to get started if they don't really have anything?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with dropping some McFries, just to try to pay the bills. People look down on that. There's nothing wrong with these extra, for the fast food jobs even, just while you're trying to pay your way through school. I mean, Summer Moon coffee shop, I like, their moon milk creamer. I basically lactate that shit.
Summer Moon, it's called?
Yeah.
I just went to a place called Two Hands.
Okay, also good, I think.
Yeah, they have nice people that work there.
Yeah, but they were hiring just a barista. The manager was talking to me. He's like, dude, get someone on your show to come work for me. I need to hire people. $18 an hour. That's not bad. Austin's pretty expensive, but $18 an hour is not bad. And that's a great place to just start, get your foot in the door. There's nothing wrong with the side hustles either, kind of like the power washing. A lot of people view that as like a side hustle, hopefully turning into a full hustle at some point. What I caution a lot of people, though, is a lot of people go into that and they're like, okay, now I need the pressure washer. Oh, but I need the nice pressure washer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, I need the truck to be able to move it around. That was the guy that the ball python guy. He had to buy a truck so that he could move his pressure washer around. So that's...
Yeah, I don't want to show up with 10 snakes in a fucking Ford Festiva or in a Dodge Neon.
Right.
Yeah. Like, these snakes deserve a classy automobile. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
Yeah, people get more excited about the actual job, the journey, the entrepreneurship more than the actual grind of it.
Oh, yeah. That is a huge trap, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to look the part so much, but you still have to do the part.
Yeah. And there's nothing with just get into a bank as well. Get into a bank, work as a teller.
Yeah.
Sit down and just talk different loans to people as well. I mean, there's lots of jobs that don't necessarily require a degree that you can get into.
I remember when I first moved to Los Angeles, we put up flyers everywhere. We would do refrigerator cleaning, right? Nobody wants to clean their refrigerator.
Yeah.
And for like $200, we'd come and clean your refrigerator. And we just take clean it good.
Yeah.
And bro, I was shocked at how many people were like, I will in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
Come clean this bitch. A lot of perverts too trying to fucking touch your back or whatever while you were cleaning.
Oh, sure.
But you fucking chalk it up to the 200. Have somebody on watch while you clean back and forth.
Okay, yeah.
But dog walking, that was another thing, something you could do.
Great.
Right? Car cleaning. I remember if you liked cleaning cars, you like cleaning your car. If you do something well, somebody will pay you to do that well for them, right? That's one thing that I always think.
We used to have a on the street audit show that we did just back in the day when I was testing things out. And I met this dude
take me through that on the street audit show. That sounds really cool.
I'd just walk up to people, those kind of camera in the face things, but I would just ask them money questions about their finances and then just kind of get my thoughts on it. But we met this dude who, Rover?
Rover?
The app?
Like Rover Wade
dogs.
or whatever?
No, so it's the dog walking that you were mentioning. So you can hire dog watchers, walkers, or anything off of Rover. And
oh, wow. Beautiful animals on there. Is that a corgi?
He's making $175,000 a year doing that.
No, he's not. Walking dogs.
House sitting dogs. But because it's just house sitting, he can also work his full-time tech job from the house that he's sitting. So he's making like $300,000 a year. Yeah.
Right.
There's a lot you could do. No degree required for that. Sit in someone's house, feed their dog, take them out.
And the funny thing is, man, I'll say this. Once you start doing something, you don't know where it's going to lead. I will be so shocked how many times it's like, okay, you're a barista, you become a good barista. Then somebody who runs a company of some sort, they show up, they see a good worker when they see one. They're like, what are you making here? Are you making $18 an hour plus tips? I'll pay you $80,000 a year to come work right next door. Why don't you come in tomorrow and we just talk about it, see if it's something you would like, just because they see your work ethic, or I'll pay you. It's amazing sometimes when somebody who runs a business starts to see good work ethic, that they will latch onto it immediately.
Absolutely.
But also the things you don't know. It's like you start with a small thing, and then next thing you know, it's like my brother was a tree cutter, right? He started just cutting down trees. And after a couple months, he was like, oh, wait, I could be the foreman. I understand how this works. And I can do the foreman's job, right? I need to learn more. But once I learn more, I'd be happy to hire some other tree guys and put up my own advertising. Like, the barrier to entry to things, it's not as hard as you think a lot of times. It's just you don't know it until you start.
Yeah, one of the first full-time editors that I hired, dude was making, the math worked out to almost like $6 an hour working for a YouTuber, but his editing was great. And with the different incentives and everything I give just based on skill, he was making $6 an hour to now $100,000 a year.
Yeah, I have a
so
friend,
if you can prove it,
right. And I have a friend who's been doing some personal assistanting for another friend, and I was like, bro, you should just start learning social media edits, learn how to do them. So then, whenever you're with this guy, now you could just capture a couple things on your phone, put it through one of these kind of like different filters or different programs that they have online. There's CapCut, there's all these different things. And next thing you can show him 3 examples the next day. And now the next time he hires you to go out with him for an eve or whatever it is, you can tack on an extra $30 an hour because you're going to make a sick edit for him or something. There's a lot of things that you can do. I think that's kind of an easy one you can learn is how to become a social media editor, video editor.
Yes.
Now you're going to have a computer that works to do it, and you're going to have at least your cell phone to be able to do that. But I think that's realistic. I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, carpet cleaning is something that people don't want to do a lot of times.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's my small business, or that's what the small business my dad owns is just, a little power wash and window cleaning and carpet cleaning.
Wow.
And that's what took him from, being a cashier at a gas station when we were poor, when I was born, to now they're doing really well because you can grow that, you can scale that. They opened a second branch. They're doing well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of opportunities there. And then in like the video editing world, just if you're just asking yourself, what can I do to make that person's life easier? They'll give you money.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Trying to think of some other ones work from home that aren't as blue collar. I know there's data entry is one. I see a lot of advertisements for data entry. Is that a valid one?
It could. I have no idea. It could be.
Yeah. Yeah, look that up. Is data entry a valid gateway job or something?
I mean, honestly, just any way to get into building a business and just getting to know management there and working with them and just asking what do they need and being able to fulfill those tasks, you'll move up. Yeah.
According to current data, an entry-level data entry position typically pays around $15 to $20 per hour in the U.S. with an average annual salary ranging from $30,000 to $40,000.
And are you going to do that your whole life? No, but sometimes just getting into the company.
You may need to do it for a couple months to get out of a situation,
Yeah.
Maybe you could do it while your kid's at school. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just trying to think of little ways. I know that these are obviously me saying these things and I have no idea what some of people's real lives are like.
No, of course. But in the conversations, what I see are people looking down on shops like that.
Right.
They're not willing to, even though they're not paying their bill.
Yeah. Right.
It's like at that point, everyone's just looking down upon them. I mean, the car company that's about to repo them. The bank is looking down on them. They can work that job. They can work the McDonald's, like, whatever it is, just to make ends meet.
Have you ever had somebody come in with a business idea that was just repulsive and you saw them going down a road and you're like...
That old guy I was telling you about, he did pump like about $1 million into this whole thing. Really, his entire life savings, everything he's worked for, into his 60s, 70s, wherever he was. And again, the machine, whatever this body scanning machine is, I'm not in that world, so I don't know. But I know it was like 50,000 or something crazy. And the storefront that he was investing in, again, just a quarter later.
Biofrequency gadgets are a total scam. Let's zoom in on this, see if this sounds like it. I would like to find this so we can put this out. This is interesting. I recently asked what I thought about the Solex AO scan. This website for the product includes this claim. AO scan technology by Solex is an elegant yet simple way to use frequency technology based on Tesla, Einstein, and other prominent scientists' discoveries. It uses delicate biofrequencies and electromagnetic signals to communicate with the body. Was it something like that, or no? It had nutrients involved, you said?
Well, no, he used the results to try to sell people to get nutrients.
Oh, I see.
And that was the pyramid scheme he was a part of.
Got it. So first there's going to be a place where people are going to get this scan done, and then based on the outcomes of the scan, you're going to be able to sell them nutrients to get them equal.
Exactly.
Get them whole. Wow. Man, it's crazy the level of people. We had a glitter mining thing by us growing up. People sold these glitter, like you could buy shares of glitter mines or whatever, where they were mining glitter, and they fucking robbed so many of us.
Oh yeah.
I was in a pyramid scheme too. I lost something.
What'd you sell?
It was like you basically sold somebody right into a pyramid. Like I got into on the chart. It was a pyramid.
Yeah.
And it was like, well. I remember asking somebody, like, is this a pyramid scheme? And they're like, I don't know.
You remember what you were selling?
Just, you sold literally the square that you had. It was like, I'm going to sell, somebody sold me a square. And then it was like, okay, now I get 2 squares. I get to sell 2 squares. It was a.
That is like a literal pyramid. Okay, yeah.
And dude, the crazy part was, I remember asking my friend's dad about it, and he had bought into it too. So everybody got took by us.
We see people get into the makeup one a lot.
The makeup pyramid scheme?
Yeah, and it's just where you buy makeup from someone else and you sell that to other people and you try to recruit people to sell makeup. And
well, there's like Donna, what's that Donna? what's that, K? Mary Kay?
Mary Kay. We get lots of Mary Kays.
You do?
Yes, absolutely.
I'll tell you a story. I was at in West Virginia. I was doing a show there one weekend, and they had the grand sellers of the Mary Kay group, and they all had Cadillacs or whatever, and they were doing a big thing there, and they all pulled up. I mean, they must have had 40 different Cadillacs that they pulled up in
They
there.
figured out the game.
Multi-level marketing, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I mean.
Again, people don't want to do the low and slow. They want to get rich now.
Right.
They're not willing to just invest and hopefully hit that 59.5. That's when you can withdraw from your retirement, tax advantage retirement accounts without a penalty.
Is that one of the things you see with the younger generation is just because of TikTok, there's so many more schemes out there?
Yeah.
It's people wanting the easy way out.
Absolutely, because they see other people that have a proven success rate to actually do it. So it's just a quick way to get to wealthiness, and 60 seems so far to a 20-year-old.
So far.
Yeah.
What were some, I know there were some, I'm trying to think of some different inventions or schemes. There was one called Dyna, D-Y-N-A. It was a bike wheel. This thing was crazy. Dyna bike wheel. This was it. Pull up this Dynasphere. Dynasphere vehicle. Zoom in. The Dynasphere is a monowheel vehicle designed, patented in 1930 by John Archibald Purves from Somerset, UK. Purves' idea for the vehicle was inspired by a sketch made by Leonardo da Vinci. Look at this thing. 2 prototypes were initially built, a smaller electric model and one with a gasoline motor. Let me see. The driver's seat and the motor were part of one unit mounted with wheels upon the interior rails of the outer hoop. I mean, this thing looks crazy. If you can't see this on audio, but it's basically a guy driving a huge tire around. The singular driving seat and motor unit, when powered forward, would thus try to climb up the spherical rails, which would cause the lattice cage to roll forward. So basically, you're in a fair. It's like something you'd be in at a carnival. Yeah. Steering of the prototype was crude, requiring the driver to lean in the direction sought to travel. Though Purves envisioned future models equipped with gears that would shift the inner housing without leaning, thus tipping the Dynasphere in the direction of travel. A novelty model was later constructed by Purves that could seat 8 passengers, the Dynasphere 8, made specifically for beach use.
I want to see that. How do you fit 8 people in that?
It looks like a beach toy. It's basically like a hamster wheel. If you guys could imagine a hamster wheel that someone drove. Oh, there you go. There's that 8-seater. Oh, that's kind of cool. You get to sit in a circle and it just cruises. That's romantic.
Yeah.
Okay, go back. I just want to see what happened to it. It was also impossible to steer or brake. Another aspect of the vehicle that received while the vehicle could move along just fine, it was also impossible to steer or brake. Another aspect of the vehicle that received criticism was the phenomenon of gerbling, the tendency when accelerating or braking the vehicle for the independent housing holding the driver within the monowheel to spin within the moving structure. Imagine you slam on the brakes, right? The vehicle stops, but you just keep spinning in the middle.
We need Elon to get on this. Bring it back.
Yeah, that's something we need back. What else I'm trying to think of a the banana slicer. Can you see if you find that one? This was something that somebody invented. The problem was, go to that one right there on the right. Hutzler, go to the Hutzler right there. It was a one-size-fits-all. Your banana had to be one size.
Right.
So if your banana was obtuse, or if it was like, I don't want to say an African banana or whatever, but if it was a different type of banana or a Filipino banana, I don't think you couldn't use this one. But that's crazy to think about, right?
Yeah.
That somebody invented that. That was kind of a crazy one. I'm trying to think of anything else I remember hearing about. There's always that baby cage. People would put that baby outside of the window. Remember that? That baby cage out window. Yeah.
They hung it from a window.
Yeah, there you go, right there. Get that little baby at that cage, baby. The bizarre history of the baby cage. Click on that. Get me a link to that, Daddy.
It's a little Auschwitzy.
Little Auschwitzy, yeah. Little outsides witsy, huh? Okay. Little play on words there. Dangling baby cages came into vogue after they were invented in 1922, but their origins really began with the 1884 book, The Care of Feeding of Children, by Emmett Holt. Emmett carefully describes how babies need to be aired out. Fresh air is required to renew and purify the blood, and this is just as necessary for health and growth as proper food. And what were those cages? How big was that baby cage, Daddy? Oh, that baby's enjoying it, huh? It's got to be kind of nice. Put your baby out there for an hour. Let him meet a bird or whatever.
Yeah.
Have a falcon fucking befriend him. It was believed that exposing infants to cold temperatures, both outside and through cold water bathing, would grant them a certain immunity to catching minor illnesses. I could see some of that.
This is the first cold plunge.
Yeah, that's all this is. Yeah. Yeah, that's the first cold plunge right there. That's Wim Hof, I think. That's one of the earliest pictures of Wim Hof right there. That's Joe Rogan right there when he's a baby. Tell me a little bit about your own budgeting at Simpler Budget so I can make sure that people know about that, young people who are confused or they don't want to end up in a bad financial realm. Tell me about Simpler Budget.
The first part of just like fixing finances is the budget, because you got to know what's going in and out. And a lot of people overcomplicate it. They get a spreadsheet that they can't manage, or they download an app like You Need a Budget, which is another really good one, but it's like so complicated and the learning curve is huge and it has all these qualifications for so many things that you just don't need. People that are in bad finances literally just need one place where they can just connect their accounts, tells them where money's going, and you can figure out where to actually stop spending money or close a credit card. Or we're tracking different accounts where you can see your investments as well, so you can see if you're on track and whatnot. So just that simple stuff. And what a lot of people struggle with, even if they create a simple budget on a spreadsheet, they don't come back to it the next month. So they make the budget, but then they don't actively budget, because budgeting is not just making a budget. You got to stick to it. You got to follow it. So this helps you by setting alerts and whatever you need, and continued education. And the premium version, we have these classes with financial professionals that you can join live and ask them questions, and they help mentor you.
Now, are these classes more valuable than the original classes? So these are real classes. These are valuable classes.
Yeah, well, these are financial professionals, certified financial planners and whatnot, and people with budgeting experience. Again, the thing we talked about at the beginning, that was just teaching how to day trade. So that's
right. So day trading in its own right is risky. This is teaching people how to save and budget and plan.
Budget, proven things that like every licensed financial professional would talk about. So keeping people on track, people just need those extra motivations. A lot of people watch our show that are on track to budget and pay off debt, but they keep coming back because it helps them stay motivated throughout the week.
For sure. It's almost like going to recovery meetings or AA meetings. It's like you go to the meetings just to keep the word in your head, right? Yeah. You want to stay motivated. Exactly. Yeah, I love the idea that you have this world that's entertaining, but then the back end of the entertainment is let's keep people budgeted and on track. It's like, it's exactly really what a lot of young generation needs, because everything has entertainment value now. Mm-hmm. It's like, you're at a funeral and there's people, like they're selling albums and shit or whatever, like they're, but everything has entertainment value now. So to have an entertainment value with adding financial structure to people's lives, I think that's really amazing. There's a lot of people out there that you don't know if you can trust. I've seen them in over my lifetime where you come with these guys. I'm going to name some of these guys. Financier types in the world. And will you be willing to just give me your take?
If I know them.
If you know them. Okay.
People pull them up.
Okay. Grant Cardone is one.
Yeah. Grant Cardone, one message that I kind of know about him is he's okay with going into a lot of debt and risking everything in order to get, property or start a business. He's like, if you're not making six figures at 21, you're a failure, I think. Hopefully I'm not putting words into his mouth because I don't follow a lot of his stuff. But I know it's a little too risky for my taste. It's a little too risky, a little too flexing of wealth. Him with his private jet there. I get the aspirational part. That's great. Maybe you'll get there someday, but let's just be realistic for the average American. Low and slow, invest, try to get to retirement.
Yeah, I think the flexing of wealth is so bizarre to me, because if I looked at something somebody else had, I would feel bad if I don't have it, I feel like, or part of me would. Okay. Part of me would feel inferior or something, maybe not like up here, but somewhere in my head, I'd be like, oh, I'm not good enough or something. I don't understand sometimes why people do that sort of thing. But I also understand that's just my school of thought, and that some people like this aspirational style. Like, what I'm saying? Let's see the flash, and that motivates some people. So I think there's a motivational tactic in it. Alex Hormozzi. You know him? Oh, yeah.
I think he's really good in like the motivational part. I don't know a lot about his own financial advice, but in terms of, really being motivated for your entrepreneurial mindset, that's been really good. And honestly, I've watched a couple of his videos when I was dealing with a couple, issues while we were scaling our business, and just like, what does this guy do? He built like a multi-million, $100 million business.
Wow.
And obviously that's, if someone's done it, maybe listen to them. Yeah. So I've listened to a couple things that have been beneficial from him.
Ty Lopez, he's the famous guy that would read a book a day. That shit always was crazy to me.
I think this is the guy that kind of put a bad taste in everyone's mouth about buying courses online, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Because I think we've put a lot of time and value and resources in producing educational content that, people could pay for, that helps guide them a little more handheld. And we've seen like one of the lowest refund rates, even though we offer free refunds, like no matter what. And we've seen like the lowest refund rate in the industry. But so many people immediately, they see the class and like, oh, it's a scam. It's a scam. You have to pay for it. It's a scam.
Right.
And it kind of started with this dude selling a course on a million different things.
We had the book in a day shit was always weird. Like, I don't even know if I want to talk to a guy who just read Where the Red Fern Grows. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I want to fucking talk to some guy who just read that in one day.
But again, it was the Grant Cardone like wealth flexing thing. All his videos were like, behind a Lamborghini in a garage, and that's not where the average person's going to be, and that's okay. It's okay to be
poor. It's fun.
Well, it's okay to be settled with just a good, content retirement. Not everyone needs to risk everything to go crazy and go into a lot of debt on a big risk. Not that that's what he advocates for, but
yeah, and having a job is just one of the most important things. I remember my buddy's dad would always just say, do you have a job? It's the first thing he would ask me every time I saw him. Do you have a job? If I had a job, he'd talk to me. If I didn't have a job, he wouldn't talk. It's just like, you need to have a job. You need to have something you are doing. And not because you need to be part of capitalist society, but because you need to go and do something, right? You have to have a job. It can be, you're making something at home that you're aiming towards selling or doing, but you want to have some motivation. A job is just a form of motivation. It's just an active motivation.
Well, there's some purpose. People find purpose in jobs. Some people are purposeless after retirement.
Oh,
people do. FIRE. Do you know FIRE?
Do I know FIRE? FIRE?
The independence movement, where you stack up as much money as possible, invest it all like crazy so you can retire at like 45. A lot of people did that, and no one's really doing it anymore because everyone retired at 45 with a few $1 million, and they're bored and they have no purpose and there's nothing because they don't have a job. They have a family maybe, but they don't have the purpose.
Oh, I know. I have some women friends that have like really got focused on, and now they want families and stuff. And so now that's a little bit tough for some of them.
Oh, sure.
I think FIRE affects women probably differently because they can have children maybe too, if they focus so much. But even guys, I focus on work mostly. My biggest relationship is my work.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't have a relationship right now. I'm not lamenting about it. I would like to get married or something. But when I'm like, who's my spouse? It's my work, I put a wedding ring on my job. I like working. The second I think about doing something, I think about working.
Yeah.
What about Gary Vaynerchuk? He's kind of a wild one, huh? Gary's always been like the guy who's like, oh, you got silverware in your house? Sell it. Sell it right now.
Okay.
Sell your silverware, sell your house. How much is your house worth? $3,000? Sell it.
To get out of debt or what?
Sell the silverware, $65. And then he'll pull up a guy who'll be standing in a park, right? Because he has nowhere to live now. He's eating soup with his hand because he has no more utensils, right? And Gary will be like, how much money you got? And the guy's like, I got $4,000 cash. He's like, you fucking did it, buddy. And he'll hug him and then drive off in a limousine, right?
All right.
But it's like, that's the thing. It's like, you just don't want any loose cash sitting around,
What's the
He's
purpose?
like, oh, your grandmother's asleep, sell her fucking nightgown while she's resting. She don't need it. It's like anything they have, lease it out. Your grandfather's taking a nap, lease out his eyeglasses while he's resting, It's just all type of stuff like that, man.
Do you know the purpose though? I'm so curious because I do not know this guy.
It's a motivation, I feel like, right? And this is just my opinion also. But it's just, there's always something they want to motivate you to do,
Yeah.
In Vaynerchuk, his family owned a wine company growing up. No shade, but it's like, dude, if my family had a wine company growing up, I remember my mom beat me one time with a bag of fucking frozen oranges. I remember that shit.
Did he sell his winery?
It's a little different than that, but I'm just saying, I'm not sure. But I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? The Merlot don't fall far from the grape.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, brother? What else were we going to talk about? Ty Dolla $ign. Is he an investor? No, he's just what does he do? Yeah, financial advisor? No. There isn't much information about Ty Dolla $ign's investments. Okay. So I don't know how you ended up on our list then. What else? Anything else on our sheet we wanted to go over? Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about specifically, Caleb?
Oh man, I just want people to realize that they're in a better place than they think they are. You know, that's kind of one thing we didn't really talk about.
Okay.
Is that I don't want to like just glug glug on America.
I agree. I don't want to be negative only.
Yeah. There's a lot more opportunity that people aren't willing to accept. We're in a very doom and gloom right now where everyone, again, we talked about the victim thing earlier, and everyone's like, it's impossible to get ahead. It's why do anything? Because everything's so hard right now. And obviously inflation was brutal, especially when it was nearing that like 9%. But like we just had yesterday, before we filmed this, 256,000 jobs added in the last month when they expected 155,000. Like unemployment rate at 4.1%. Here we have a GDP $25 trillion, where in the UK, Germany, Japan, we're looking at $3 to $5 trillion. GDP per capita here, 70 to 80,000. UK, 47,000. You know, there's a lot of opportunity here, and I don't want people to just really always beat themselves down. And I know, like my shows, it is on the negative side because their finances are really bad. But I want people to know they do have more opportunity out there if they're willing to take a little bit of risk.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think there's this pressure, probably especially with the younger generation, you have to put your life on a social media, right? Mm-hmm. And so then you would feel more shame about having certain jobs because you wouldn't want to put that reality on the social media. Yeah. Where like when I was in high school or in college, that wasn't a thing. It was like social media was coming up, but it wasn't like that. It wasn't like you didn't have that immediate reaction with people like ripping you or roasting you or making fun of you online. So I think that's a different thing where it's like, oh man, not what will I think of this job? Man, what will other people think if I post about this job or if I live in this world? And I think that's where you can just be creative. If you do want to post about your job, be funny about it. Be like, you know what I'm saying? And also you have to just realize like it's the shit that you don't want to be doing. That's when you sit there and your brain thinks up the shit you do want to be doing, dude. Yeah. When I was doing shit I did not want to do, dude, that's when my brain was getting inspired, bro. Mm-hmm. I mean, my brain was like, and that's when I got to see what my brain even was. My brain was like, we're going to figure this out. My brain started to surprise me with ideas and thoughts. And so I think that, yeah, you have to like, just know that sometimes you feel like, man, I'm in the dirt, but you're really in the soil kind of type of vibe, you know?
Yeah, I like that mentality. There's a lot of shame in certain jobs right now. And
and we put it on. It's like, just put the fries in the bag. It's like, sure, but dude, I used to just put the pizza in the box forever. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like we had and it was a blast, dude.
Yeah, I delivered Jimmy John's for like 6 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
dude,
it was great.
I've had Jimmy John on this podcast.
Yeah.
As a business entrepreneur.
Big dude.
Yeah, great dude, man.
Very big dude.
I saw him 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you just never know where you're going to be, you know? Like, I mean, you just don't, you know? Jimmy John's my favorite sandwich. It almost got hit running across a fucking highway to get a couple months.
What are you, a number 9 guy? I'm a number 9 guy.
Me, I go turkey tom, extra turkey, light mayonnaise. Don't look me in the fucking eyes. I'll come in there and get it, okay?
I love it.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I'll honk my horn for I'm going to come in. I'll even call them and tell them that. And they're like, this is getting a little weird. I'm like, I want everybody looking the other way, leave the sandwich on the counter. It is a very kind of like, it's the closest I get to like robbing a bank or whatever. What was the last thing I was going to ask you? What do you think of an 8-leg parlay as a realistic probability for somebody trying to get a leg up in the world?
You're going to have to explain that one to me.
I'm talking about somebody who's got $10 left and they put it on.
Oh, shit.
And they put it on 8 football games to all hit for a weekend.
Okay.
Because this is happening basically in every Pi Kappa house in America.
Yeah. Dude, betting is getting kind of out of control right now.
It's getting crazy. I mean, you have people laying in their bed at night fucking, just hopped up on Zens praying for Saquon Barkley. It's getting bizarre.
These betting companies want to sponsor us like every day.
Do
we have to tell them to fuck off so much. It's crazy. It's like any kind of drug, any kind of drinking, any kind of whatever. Betting can be fun. It can be good. If it gets addictive, that's where it's bad. $10. If you have $10 to your name, that's all you have left. I mean, people probably shit on me for saying this, but it's probably not going to make the biggest difference. If we're just being real world about it.
For sure.
But behavior, there is the behavior conversation.
Right.
If you are going to throw it towards the bet, that is demonstrating maybe why you got there in the first place.
Yeah.
So that could be a good step to correct your behavior for the first time, even if the $10 is going to be make or break for whether or not your mortgage is going to be paid. No.
Yeah.
But it's a good behavior fix.
What is a good investment? You just said you keep things pretty safe for the most part, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I'm mixture real estate and like just S&P 500.
And when you say real estate, what do you mean? Like, what type of stuff would you get into?
Well, I got my personal residence, but then up in Michigan, where I'm from, in Kalamazoo, I have some rental properties there that were like essentially almost like burned down pieces of shit that like no one would live in. I'm like, all right, I'll buy it, fix it up, and now it's students are able to live there and stuff. So there's it kind of it matches with my morals a little bit instead of just buying up desperately needed housing, but also it's making money, which is good.
Yeah, and over time, it definitely. I mean, time goes fast too. People don't realize it. Time goes fast. Yeah, people bag on Gen Z a lot. I think there's always that thing where it's like we're bagging on the next generation. But I was looking at a statistic the other day where Gen Zers, like the average job, they keep it for 2.5 years. And it's only 6 months less than millennials kept their jobs.
Sure.
So it's not like Gen Zers can't work or that they're not working. Sometimes that's a lot of the energy that's out there.
Well, the crazy thing, can you look up what Gen Z thinks they need to live? Have you seen this? This shit's crazy. And I'm kind of Gen Z. I'm like in that middle, so I can shit talk both sides. Well, that wasn't the report that came out, but Google AI is telling us something. There we go. See, Yahoo right there. They think they need $500,000 a year to be successful.
Okay, go to
minimum.
that. Generation Z thinks it needs $500,000 a year to succeed. Wow.
That part's crazy.
$500,000. They pay $4,000. Let me see. Armandahira Howard and her fiance together earn more than $200,000. A 28-year-old knows that's more money than the vast majority of Americans make, yet the Los Angeles couple still live about half an hour's drive from their pricier neighborhoods where most of their friends live. They pay $4,000 a month in rent on top of her $450 student payment, their $400 car payment, and the $200 she sends home to her family in Indonesia. So they're saying that they need... the Zillennial, she's at the cusp of millennial generation and Gen Z, set aside 10% of her income for retirement and has a healthy monthly budget of $500 for entertainment and dining out, which she said comes with a side of guilt as bigger financial goals continually loom. In this economy, she said a household income of $500,000 between two people would be very comfortable.
Very comfortable. It would be very comfortable.
Yeah, it would be very comfortable. And that's also there, man. That's Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's fair. But like the median household income in the United States is like $60,000,
Right.
60, 75, something like that.
Yeah, that's one thing that I like about living in a regular place a little bit more is that you start to get a more reasonable idea of things.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, one of the issues is we're all stuck watching these celebrities who are living these insane lives or pretending to also. I find Los Angeles in its own, like it has this like idea, like movies and parties and all the shit. But I always found it to be like it shuts down early. Like all the bars close early. Everything, it's all for look, right? Everything there was more like, let's make it look this way, right?
Interesting. One thing I think that tells me specifically, though, Zillennial, like I'm a Zillennial, in between that era. I didn't have a job during the Great Recession. I didn't need to. I was a kid. What that tells me, thinking they need $500,000 a year, is that there's about to be a big awakening when my generation and the people around me go through our actual first recession. And you realize that, okay, maybe living isn't about being able to get, 5 cups of coffee a day. That isn't the requirement for life. I want you to do it, yes. But for them, that is full comfort where, throughout most of human civilization, we're just trying to survive.
Yeah.
And we are very comfortable right now.
Yeah. It's a comfortable world, man. I mean, America's a comfortable place, I know it feels uncomfortable a lot of times, certainly in comparison to other people's lives. But yeah, it's like most of us have food, we have clothing, we have a place to sleep. And that, like, internet in the world, that is opulence.
Like a demonstration of this, I was dating someone from Venezuela for a little bit.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I know, exotic. And one thing she was telling me about our culture, I was like asking what's different about this culture versus the different cultures she lived in all over the world when she was escaping Venezuela. And she says, things are good in America because of how much we focus on the minor little social issue for everything. When you have the luxury to focus on
trans stuff, or
not just that, like, okay, so Zuckerberg, right? Yesterday he announced that tampons are leaving men's bathroom or whatever. Like, I don't care either way, whatever. But the fact that is able to be such a major thing that we're freaking out about, when you have that in a culture, that's how you know everything else is pretty damn okay, because we're allowed to focus our energy on that and not just making sure that half the country isn't starving.
Yeah. Or sometimes that the media is tricking us too by saying like, this is what we should be talking about,
Yeah.
But
click.
Yeah. But I agree. The fact that people are able to, that people are bringing that kind of stuff up. I'm trying to think of anything else that I wanted to talk about. Any other group that came on your show that was kind of fascinating to you? I would love to play one more clip from your show. What's another one that we have this that we could play? Yeah. I just encourage you guys to go, if you like, you get a financial take. It's very much, it's a perfect microcosm that you're in. And it can be a macrocosm too. I'm not trying to little it by saying that. I'm not the best with words, but I think it's just a perfect, like nucleus that you're in of like entertainment and finances. What's this one right here? Oh yeah. Play this one, dude.
We built $75,000 of student loan debt. Say the degree one more time.
I study Shakespeare.
Okay. Shakespeare. Lovely guy. What are you going to do with that?
Well, that's such a complicated question.
Oh, no. I was really hoping for a more, you knew what you were going to do with this much school and student loans.
This is where you just have to say, we come from different worlds. You're not going to understand this.
What do you mean?
You won't understand like the precarity and why it's really all right.
What do you mean though?
Like your reaction there was like, I
studied music composition in college. I was in the College of Arts School of Music.
Okay.
But I asked the job and you didn't know what to say.
So I have a lot of experience working at writing centers. Okay. So I could be
what are you going to do with that?
Yeah. You know what that is? That is another major thing that is happening a lot throughout. It's the continuous college, because they don't want to leave college. So they go for the master's degree, the doctorate degree. And that's more and more. We're seeing so many more people doing the endless college, get the other degree. Because once you leave college, it's a scary world. You're on your own.
It's very scary. I want to go back every day. Every day. And this person gets a Shakespeare degree. So yeah.
Doctor in Shakespeare.
Yeah. To be broke or not to be broke, dude. That's the question. I feel like now unless you're going to go to a Renaissance fair and get winked at by the king or something, I feel like that's going to be an uphill climb, dude.
Well, she wants to be a teacher. That's what they do. You go to school to teach other people to go to school.
Stay in this world.
Yeah.
There's always a person who stays in school.
Yeah.
And sometimes it gets blamed on like, oh, look at this dude, he can't get his diploma, or this girl is an alcoholic and she, goes to, Rutgers or whatever. But every now and then there's the opposite of it, of somebody who just stays in because they don't want to get out and face the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. Caleb Hammer, I appreciate it so much, man. Thank you so much for just being willing to come and chat with me. I'm excited to see what you guys do. And I just think it's really neat to have just kind of this corner of entertainment and finances and kind of just basic needs, really,
Yeah.
We all need a basic needs voice. We need that kind of like Jiminy Cricket that shows up on your shoulder.
Yeah, a little wake up call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. And you're an alarm clock, man. So thank you so much, Caleb Hammer. Best of luck, brother.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Now I'm just floating on the breeze, and I feel I'm falling like these leaves. I must be cornerstone.